Welcome to week 4 Pioneer Masters League weekly feature matches. We got Raphael F here. How's it going tonight?
Hey, just hanging out, looking to watch and spectate some great games of Magic. How's your night going, Richard?
Pretty good. We got Kevin I here who had to send back a hand with only blue mana and spells of 3 different colors. And he's facing off against Chris R. What's Sinkwater got going on there?
Sinkwater's got a nice hand going on. So he's got 2 swamps, 2 islands, cruelty, and then 2 MDFCs.
Okay.
He's got the vision and I'm sorry, it's not a MDFC, the Moon Circuit Hacker. What's Kevin and this crazy deck we've heard so much about? What's he got in hand so far?
I had one person tell me he had a pretty good deck, so I'm looking forward to see what he has to offer here with his Grixis deck. Not a great hand here. Again, he had to send back a hand with like 4 islands and cards of 3 colors, but in hand he has Anchor to the Ether, he has Dragonlord Silumgar, he has Treasure Cruise, and he has Fight with Fire. So all good cards, but might be a little slow here. He's going to be like a step behind every... Oh, and this is like a very bad draw. He's drawn a Gateway Plaza, which means he has to tap his mana, tap a mana to play it, which means he can't cast anything.
I mean, it's a really interesting position both players are in here because Sinkwater only has 4 lands in hand in the vision. So without that creature, he's probably just going to slam the vision and look for something else.
I think I can never not just play my land drop, even though it means giving up the whole turn. I just feel in the long run, it's going to cost me so much to have not played a land there.
Yeah, normally you want to keep up on lands, right? That way you can like cast your 4, 5s, and 6s. But at the same time, that was probably in Kevin's best interest there.
Yeah.
Like, by getting rid of the creature, Chris had nothing else to do, so he's forced to fire off this vision. And off the top, we see Treasure Cruise, and I think there was a Magmus Opus. I believe that was the other card. He decided just to take the Treasure Cruise for now.
Okay.
So still just 4 lands in hand, and whatever Treasure Cruise gets us.
Okay. Not too bad. And he can just easily cast the Treasure Cruise here. Yeah, I mean, the Moon Circuit Hacker, it's not really a snowball card. Like, when you ninja it in, it draws a card, but otherwise it just loots. I mean, looting is still really strong, but I don't know if it's miss my land drop for the turn on purpose strong. But we'll see. So both players are at 7 losses, which is where the similarities between their records end, because Chris is just starting his week at 8-7, and Kevin is ending his week here, and he's 12-7. So he's played a few more matches, and he's won all of them. So Tidebearer Giant comes down, otherwise known as my boy.
The old take one, draw one?
Oh, it hurts to put that back on top of the deck to let opponent cast it again.
It might not be the worst. Yeah. So Chris got a few extra tools off the Treasure Cruise, and I believe off the Tide. There's a Zephyr Wander, Lash of Malice, Philagi, and then off this giant trigger right now, he has a Sidisi that he just drew for the turn.
Okay, he's just gonna keep letting him resolve his 4/5 that draws a card. I don't know. I mean,
I'm into it. I like it.
I guess some people would call that tempo, I guess.
It's 100% tempo. Like, you think about it, right? Like, he got in for 1 damage, I guess 2 because of the giant trigger, right? Then he got in for 3 off the giant trigger and his 2 creatures. So if Chris decides to do that play again,
yeah, this Bond of Insight is a real gem of a card here. Getting to pick back up 2 spells.
So what are we thinking about taking over there? Well, I guess we now know.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll take the Fight with Fire
tempo.
and the Gust with Wind, and yeah, this is looking strong. I mean, forget everything I said about missing the land, about not playing the land, and about bouncing this 4/5 over and over. I mean, I just can't help it. I love these creatures that draw a card when they come in. If my opponent tells me cast that every turn for the rest of the game, I probably will die happy.
Well, Chris might be... that Fight with Fire makes it awkward, but he probably wants to stop this Assault in the Air. He did just draw Gazlith, the is it dragon from Strixhaven?
Oh, yeah, okay. So
And he still has a Zephyr Wander, so he does have 2 flyers if he wants to try and stop things from the air.
yeah, you don't want to play a 2/1 flyer here against these 1/1s, really.
Spark Harvest is probably what you're in the ballpark for, right?
Yeah, he's got to get rid of this Murmuring Mystic. It's already produced enough
Yeah.
trouble here. And you could pretty happily sack the Philology Archaeologist. Very good combo.
Can he sack a treasure with the Spark Harvest?
No, you have to sack a creature.
So we're looking at maybe casting the Gauntlet. Maybe it's in the air. It's in there, not like on the field in the air, but like in the hand, Cody style in the air.
Okay, so what's that? So it's a 5-mana 3/4 that makes a treasure.
Yeah, then treasures don't sack; they tap.
Only for instants and sorceries.
Duly noted.
Yeah, so you can tap your treasures for instants and sorceries. Yeah, it's not the. Yeah, it doesn't tap for just for anything, but for instants and sorceries, yes. And Spark Harvest, well, it's a sorcery.
So let's say if you Spark Harvest here, then he Zephyr's still kind of awkward because you just trade for one of these free birds, or you can hold up Lash of Malice. He's gonna go to Zephyr. Okay. Just develop some flyers,
so
knowing
does Chris have a way to stop to kill a 3/5 flyer? Because he could just play Dragonlord Silumgar and take this dragon.
Currently, not without some help from Lash of Malice.
Okay, I mean, I think Kevin is just going to go for the safer player, which is just to straight up kill it. He sees opponent has 5 cards in hand and is playing removal colors. He assumes that he could kill the Dragonlord Silumgar, so he does not do that. But what Kevin will be able to do now is he can bounce this Zephyr Winder, and I imagine he'll be able to cast his Gurmag Angler as well, or his Treasure Cruise.
Ooh,
I love me a Treasure Cruise, but I think I'd rather have a 5/5 in play.
Yeah, I think you just keep up on the pressure for now, right? 18 to 12.
He is going to be resolving his Treasure Cruise here.
Your opponent has more cards in hand than you do, at least on paper for now.
Yeah, like I said, he is doing the Treasure Cruise, but yeah, 1-mana Treasure Cruise, very nice.
Listen, I get it. I understand it, Kevin. I too love drawing cards. Do what you love and love what you do.
Oh, he's redoing it here. I think just to exile 6.
That's fair. So, question. I know you know more of the cards than I do. What does Sidisi do? Sidisi, the undead, is that Vizier?
Yeah, so it has exploit, which means you can sacrifice a creature when it comes in, and if you exploit a creature, you search your deck for any card and put it in your hand. Just Demonic Tutor.
Not bad.
And it's a 5-mana 4/6 Death Touch, I believe.
There's not many things, I guess.
Chris wants to sacrifice. Zombie Snake.
Not sure yet until he hovers it, but he did draw a Cram Session, so if he has a really good lesson, I'm going to assume maybe not if he's just slamming the Winder again.
Yeah, well, we'll see what he decides to do here. His life total is getting lower, but it's not in like danger territory yet.
Yeah, plus he has options.
Yeah. So Kevin's got kind of a sick combo in hand with the Dragonlord Silumgar. He has Return to Action, which is like a fake your own death type of card.
Oh, that's pretty good. So just slam the dragon, hold it up.
Yeah,
it's what, 1 mana?
It's 2 mana. I believe it gives +2/+0. I think lifelink, and it comes back tapped if it dies.
Ugh.
I believe it's lifelink, but I could be mistaken.
I mean, unless Kevin has a way.
This is the third fight with fire here.
I think you definitely hold this one, right? For 1 more mana?
Oh yeah, for 9 mana, your opponent dies as soon as you get the mana, and he does have a land in hand, so he's just gonna play Silumgar here, take this 4/5, and keep up his Return to Action.
I'm into it. I think this is definitely the play that you want to go for, right?
Yeah, so he's just trying to put a stranglehold on the game here, and give his opponent basically no outs, because he does have the Haven of the Spirit Dragon in hand for the fight with fire, or he just has like lethal attacks here.
Yeah, Chris doesn't really have any answers. Still just 2 lands, Cram, Zephyr, DC, and Lash.
Yeah, none of those are going to deal with all of these things.
Let's go to the Great Book of Everything, see what we can find. What is in the sideboard?
He does gain 4 life, which is moderately helpful.
Introduction to Annihilation. Does that get around the return?
It sure does, but unless he has a counter spell, he's getting 10 damage to the face.
Does Kevin have the other land?
Yes, he does. So slight correction, return to action says +1/+0 and lifelink, and it comes back tapped when it dies. I think I had said +2/+0, but
Kevin's still got to find a way to get this damage in there because Zephyr can block one, and Chris still does have the lash in hand.
Okay, so he does need to get. Okay, so I think he's going to go for the lesser one, which is like to kill the creatures and then to deal the rest of the damage to opponent's face. That's there. You do get to split up damage here, so.
Is that the option we're going for? I see a lot of pointing. Yeah. Okay, yep.
So he's just going to kill everything and put his opponent to 9.
I'm into it.
So he's not straight up killing him with all the damage here, but he is killing the board and getting attacks in, and Chris might just want to off one of these 1/1s here, as unsatisfying as it may be.
He's just looking at all the fight with fires.
Yeah, I think that's 3 of them.
Well, we still have a game. There's a treasure cruise about to be cast.
Count me in. Give me a ticket.
These guys do love drawing their cards.
Get me a ticket on the treasure cruise.
So I'm assuming he doesn't have like any butlers, anybody get back the creatures based off of he's typically targeting the creatures and the lands off the cruise.
Okay.
What do we got here? Gust is a nice way to deal with the last flyer.
Yeah, not too much going on for Kevin here in hand. He has the Gurmag Angler still, and he does have the return to action and 2 lands. He does have a Haven of the Spirit Dragon, which you can sacrifice to get a dragon back from your graveyard, but unfortunately the Dragon Lord got exiled. So the Haven of the Spirit Dragon is no haven at all.
All right. Let's give it a chance to grab the best card in the deck.
Yeah. I guess we get to see what's going to be good here.
Yeah, 2-1 wasn't really going to do much anyway. 3 swamps means 3 turns. Okay. We have a Professor Onyx.
Oh, is that what he went to go get?
Oh, yeah. I had to think for a second. I was like...
And that's what the Magecraft trigger is like, gain 2 and opponent loses 2, I believe?
I'm going to trust you on that. I haven't seen or heard of Professor Onyx in, 2 years now?
Yes.
3 years?
It's since Strixhaven was 2022.
Yeah.
That's 3 years. Yeah, and that card hasn't shown up in other things. Like, it's not in cubes. It's a little too expensive. It wasn't really
because
it was constructed maybe a little bit. It was kind of
for the CMCs though. You just play Lily, right? You're playing the 6-mana Walker.
It was kind of just a card that we saw in limited, and not really after that. So I can't quite remember all the abilities, but I think we'll become familiar with them as it gets cast. Yeah.
Is there more removal in Kevin's hand?
No.
Okay.
There's not, but he is picking up a Jace here, which is a little scary. The Jace Vryn's Prodigy. So he's going to keep his return to action in hand here open rather than play the Jace. Okay. Yeah, so the Magecraft is lose 2, gain 2. I believe it... he does have like... Okay, yeah, it's minus... He's probably going to -3 here, right? To sacrifice?
I don't know. Each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures. I mean, I would think that sounds good, though. It says lose life with top 3 cards.
Put 1 in your hand and the rest in your graveyard, yeah.
Yeah, I would think you want to go for the -3. I don't know if Chris has Kevin on a certain card.
So Kevin has returned to action, but like bringing back the 5/5, it doesn't get through the 4/6. That's the problem with this.
It doesn't get through the 4/6, but also at the same time, you're not taking damage, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, you still do this play, but it just feels a bit sad because you kind of wanted that trick to try and fight with the 4/6.
I think it's fine. Like now, Chris is has to play defense. Kevin gets to grab another card.
Yeah, he's going to cast Sight Beyond Sight. Look at the top 2 and put 1 in hand, and they're both lands. So this turn is pretty unexciting here. He just has a Jace to cast, the Vryn's Prodigy. He's drawn a Kasmina here to look at more cards. All right.
Interesting. He would slap the land down then before playing the Kasmina.
Well, he has another land even.
Fair. I just feel like at this point in the mid game, you just kind of like if you don't really need the land, And
Well,
especially with a Casmina, you have 2 triggers.
especially because Jace loots as well.
Yeah.
So
Like, I don't know. Landscape.
holding 2 lands is fine when you have 9 in play.
Yeah.
All
Feels
right,
like strapped.
so
I get
this
it.
looks like a strange attack here, but he's drawn a Moon Circuit Hacker, um, which means he can ninja his Philology here to kill the Onyx. So he's giving up the Gurmag Angler if this works.
With 3 swamps, I think it just has to be allowed to happen.
Yeah. Okay, so he gets to do that, and then Kevin gets to recast Philology and cast Jace. Like this is a pretty nice turn here. That Moon Circuit Hacker was very fortuitous.
Ooh, and a scab? Well, you can't get the scab back, but
No, but he got Rescue from the Underworld, which can bring back the scab.
yeah, this is not what you wanted to see if you're in Chris's seat.
No, I think we're. I mean, if over the next 2 turns he can use the Rescue from the Underworld to get his Fight with Fire back into hand.
So is Kevin's deck living up to all your expectations from what you've heard?
I had somebody tell me it was very frightening, and I mean, it looks powerful. I mean, it is 3 colors. The mana costs are demanding, but the power level seems to be there, and he's played this game pretty shrewdly, even though I wasn't necessarily on board with some of the stuff at the beginning, but yeah, it's got him to this point here.
Baleful Eidolon, is that where we're at?
I don't think that's good enough.
I don't. It's a weird position, right? Like you're like, I have 3 lands in hand. I want to keep somehow developing, but am I going to roll the dice and see?
I think
it's looking like we'll see.
I think he's far enough behind that a 1/1 Death Touch is not going to do it enough here.
Survey says.
Yeah.
You're going to have a Sanitarium Skeleton instead.
I mean, it's the same bad. Yeah, so actually no, Kevin just wins here because he can flip the Jace and just cast Fight with Fire with flashback. So he just has it.
Well, let's see if Kevin sees it. He's going pretty quick. I think he sees it.
I think he sees
but
it.
You never know.
I think he sees it. Yeah, this deck is something.
But is he going to cast it kicked? You know, Chris is waiting.
He's capable.
Chris is waiting. Even Chris is saying, you know what? Maybe my opponent messes up. All right.
I mean, he could have done 8. He could have done 8 damage and then 2 to the skeleton just to be cheeky.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would matter. Yeah, so I mean, both players are playing Grixis. It looks like Kevin's got a little more grind to his deck, even though Chris does have some really good cards. We saw this at EC, the Professor Onyx there, but I think we get just a little more grind here.
Yeah, I'm looking through all these cards here. So the top ends like Onyx, Warkite, Free Treasure Cruises, the Tide Bear Giant, and Sidisi, and the rest is.
I am shocked he's not playing his Spellkeeper weirds because it gets back more of his removals.
Who, Kevin?
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's not playing those because they just
maybe he feels that he goes through the deck pretty efficiently.
Yeah, he does have 3 possessed scabs, which kind of fill that role. But I mean, I would just say more. I would just say more, please.
Well, I think Chris got your memo because he has his 2 weirds in the deck.
Yeah. Well, like I said, Kevin does have 3 possessed scab, which kind of fill the same role. But I think there's like no maximum amount of creatures you would play to get back spells because how good his spells are and how good the payoffs are.
Interestingly enough, Chris isn't playing his Anchor to Reality, or not Anchor to Reality, but
we got a spicy sideboard here with Notion Thief.
Yeah, I love Notion Thief and these like Grixis or Demir, like just any deck that wants to draw. Notion Thief just feels so good.
Have you denied a card draw with it yet?
I was literally just about to say that. I've never seen Notion Thief deny a card yet. Like there was a game where I could have cast it if I drew like, some mana. So I wasn't able to do it. And then I've spectated a few games and I haven't really seen anybody else, whip out that spicy Notion Thief deck.
So if you're behind, you probably can't hold up mana for Notion Thief. If you're ahead, your opponent's probably not like tapping a bunch of mana to draw cards. If you are ahead, so it's kind of like a bit of a dreamland card. But I wish to be proven wrong.
Yeah, I agree because normally I find you're probably just going to cast it on curve,
Yeah.
especially with how your hand shaped. Unless you have a magical hand that has a perfect curve, 2 4 drops, and your opponent just doesn't really do anything except draw cards, so you can kind of just hold it.
And
But
on curve, it's extremely bad. But
yeah, we'll
and
see what happens though. Chris is deciding to keep a very risky
another
hand.
another mulligan here for Kevin.
We'll have to see what happens. So Chris has the the dual land on the field, a swamp in hand.
Is that just for
Uh,
scrying? He doesn't have a white card, does he?
it might just be for scrying,
Okay.
but there's basically 3 blue cards in hand. One's Moon Circuit, Zephyr Winder, Steam, Augury, and then a Spark Harvest and Professor Onyx drawn for the turn.
No
And as I
islands.
say that,
Yeah.
he just drew his island.
Oh, why didn't you tell me yet? Why didn't you lead with the fact that he has
he
islands
he
now?
he just drew island right there.
Yeah. So for Kevin, he has the Bond of Insight, which we saw do a lot of work last game. The Gust of Wind, Treasure Cruise, and a Prismary Command just drawn here, which is one of his red cards. I think he had about 6 of them. Yeah, so this Moon Circuit Hacker is going to draw exactly 1 card this game, and that was the one.
I'm not sure what else he does. It would have been nice to have another blue so you can recast the Zephyr, so it's not like that useless of a turn.
Very bad draw here with another Treasure Cruise for Kevin. So he's got all the cruisins, but nobody's on board here. the boat is ready, but no passengers.
Yeah, I guess Chris is just going to say, hey, let's just get this Modern Age down, see if I can draw on some lands. We drew a Kraken a turn or 2 ago.
Card is quite good. Yeah, so...
going to say, what? Don't need the Kraken. I got a Vision. That's our blue source for the turn. Not the most ideal of turns.
Yeah. Oh, the Shipwrecker Kraken? Yeah, that card is so...
It's hit or miss. Yeah.
I mean, it's like 14 mana before it does anything.
Well, I mean, you play it on 6. It does something, right? You're just playing a vanilla 6/6. Yeah.
All right, so another Delve card drawn here for Kevin here. So he has 3 Delve cards in hand. The Treasure Cruises and a Gurmag Angler. So he's
we'll have to see
for an untapped land here to start casting spells.
We'll have to see if Chris can take advantage of this at all. Because I mean, as of right now, both Kevin's just doing nothing, and Chris is pretty much just trying to find lands.
I mean, Chris is gonna probably try, if he hits his land drops, he's just gonna play his Onyx, right?
And Onyx, yeah, for the most part,
that'll probably be that.
What do you grab? Cram Session, and then what else?
Does he have? How many lessons does he have?
He has 3. Expanded Anatomy. I forget the one that makes the Inkling, and then of course the intro that we've all seen.
I think it's just called Inkling Summoning.
Oh, yeah, he did draw a Biting Palm Ninja for the turn though, so we'll have to see if he makes use of that with the Winder.
Yeah, this would have been a spot where you would have loved to have the environmental science. That would have been a godsend, but unfortunately,
I wonder. So, do you ninjutsu the 2/3?
Does he have another ninja in his hand?
Yeah, the Biting Palm Ninja.
Oh, I mean, he could do it next turn. But he could also just Biting Palm this turn, honestly.
It's interesting to see if he waits to see, the old blow out of combat trick.
He says, no, I'm good.
Now, he drew Jawari Disruption, but he's holding it, saying, my opponent's done nothing all these turns, so I'm just going to sit back and wait.
And here comes the land. So let's see if Kevin tries to play... I doubt he'd play Bond of Insight with nothing in his graveyard. He could play Gust of Wind or Prismari Command. The Gust of Wind
terrible options, though, right?
Gust of Wind would get countered. Well, the Prismari Command is kill something, make a treasure. That's pretty decent, and that is what he's going to do.
Oh, this is pretty good.
Okay. He could also draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards to fuel his delve, or get rid of one of the delves and fuel.
Drew Island for turn, so he has the ability to ninjutsu the Biting Palm Ninja and still hold up Disruption.
Okay, so he is going to actually do the draw 2, discard 2, rather than make a treasure. Just hoping to find lands, can dump 1 or both of... Well, he has 3 delve spells, so he can dump 1 or 2 of them.
I don't think he has the 1, so you don't Jawari. I think you just Biting Palm right on the... Can you not on the stack? What?
Yeah, so the way ninjutsu works is you have to go past the... it has to be after the blockers phase. So there's
Oh,
attacks and
brother.
blocks. So even when your opponent has no blockers to your flyers, you still need to pass through the blocking phase. So you go to attacks, declared as attackers, then go to blocks, even if opponent cannot block. You then go after blocks, and then you can do it.
So, if I'm hearing this correctly, you kill the ninjas before blocks. So they can't ninjutsu.
Yes, you kill them before the blocker phase, which most people do anyway. If they're killing like an attacking creature, they usually don't wait till after blockers. Most of the time, if you're like killing an attacker, you just do it at the first opportunity. Right, so he does get to basically resolve like a Thoughtseize type effect. He gets to take any one card and exile it. Okay.
I guess he's trying to see what could Kevin, I guess, delve for.
Yeah, so he does have Delve Fuel now. After that Prismari command dumped 3 cards in the graveyard effectively, itself and two others from the hand.
Yeah, I feel like, what did he grab the treasure?
It was the Bond of Insight, the one that gets back the spells.
Interesting. I
The
guess he's
one,
looking for more of a grindy game.
Yeah, so interesting draw here. I didn't mention it during sideboarding, but he brought in a lesson card into his main deck. It's called Teachings of the Archaics.
That's the blue one, right? That costs like a crap.
No, it's 2 and a
How much does it
blue.
cost?
It's 2 and a blue. I believe it says if your opponent has more cards in hand than you, you draw 2. I think that's what it does. I don't. It might have another line of text that I'm forgetting, but
if it has another line of text, I might be in. But I'm not sure if Kevin just really loves drawing his cards, or if there's some more nefariousness.
I mean, there's so much to love about drawing cards, because when you draw cards, you could draw more cards that draw more cards.
That's fair.
See, like when you attack with creatures, it doesn't get you more creatures to attack more.
I don't know, man. I think some Krenkos say when this Krenko swings.
Yeah. Those do, but the average creature doesn't say like let's make more creatures to attack, but card draw spells.
Okay. So if Kevin gets a land here,
real bad.
Oh baby, all right, we got the land, just not the land we wanted.
All right. Oh, is it a tap land?
Yeah, it's an Evolving Wild. So
there's an Urborg in play on the other side, which means the Evolving Wilds is a swamp. So he could have actually played the Evolving Wilds and tapped it for mana because it's a swamp.
I never once even paid attention to the lands in this game outside of the first one Chris played. I didn't even realize that was an Urborg.
Yeah,
I don't even know if Chris saw that line.
So it was the first land, I believe, played by Kevin of the game. So it's all the way, at least for us, it's all the way on the left.
Wow, that would have been... Yeah, I would have preferred the Onyx coming down, getting rid of the Scab. But, I mean, yeah, Chris might see it now. Wait, I'm curious.
I think... I mean, if he... Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty easy thing to overlook. So, it can happen. More ninjas?
Yeah, so he just drew the specialist. I was expecting him to swing both, to be honest.
He made a killing on Kamigawa week here. All of his cards in play are from that set.
Fighting, Moon, Circuit, Modern Age.
Okay. Yeah, I still think that it's an easy thing to overlook. If he knew that that's how it worked, he would have almost assuredly cast the Onyx, but he still had a nice turn there.
So, well, I was gonna say, does he just slam the Onyx right away? But I think he just slammed the Onyx right away. Because Kevin showed a counter spell in the first game at all, right?
No.
And then now you definitely slam the Onyx.
Yeah, you could play Onyx, and we'll see what he decides to do with it.
Now you don't play the Onyx.
Well, you could play it and plus it.
Yeah, but I think you'd want to wait, right?
I think.
Wait, see if the Scab comes off the board.
Pretty safely play it and plus it. All right, so he's got his mountain now, by way of the Evolving Wilds that was also a swamp until it got sacrificed. Yeah, so these decks are, I mean, in colors they're similar, but I'd say Chris has a bit more of an aggressive tinge to his deck with all the ninjas.
Ninjas, flyers, some draw, some loot.
Yeah, well, I think Chris is okay with being like, having the game get over like pretty fast, but Kevin is basically wants always to make the game go long.
It's exactly what Chris wanted. What did we say last turn? Probably swing, try and get rid of the scab, and then you can safely kind of do your thing with the Onyx. And then there's a ruinous path.
Okay, that's a nice one.
So Chris's hand currently is Harvest, Biting.
Oh, we got a
Gazlith.
Dreadbore off the top here, so very fortunate turn of events for
Oh,
Kevin.
Why does Kevin have all the answers?
Wait, does he? Why he's casting Prismari Command?
Huh. Well, I mean, he can do other things.
But Dreadbore kills Planeswalkers.
Yeah, but he'll still have the mana to do it, right? Like the treasure's still red.
I guess. I feel like he could have just played Ingenious Scab and Dreadbore, but look, he won the last game with me wondering about some of his decisions. So he knows his deck infinitely. So I
think about it though. If he cast Dreadbore, though, he couldn't cast Prismari then, right? Because that was his red source.
Yeah, but he could have just cast Ingenious Scab.
I'm into it.
No, it worked. I mean, it cleared the board, which is what you want to do when you're at 9 and your opponent has 5 cards in hand.
Yeah, we just got to see if Chris can close it out now. Seems there'll be some treasure cruising going on.
Yeah, it'll be a little tougher to close it out here now. We have a Dragonlord Silumgar freshly drawn also, so I don't know if Chris has a way to mess around with
that. Yes. It's called Spark Harvest, Ruinous Path, Gust of Wind for a turn, or get it out of the hand with the Biting Palm Ninja.
So Chris has got what he needs to win, more or less. He just needs to make sure Kevin doesn't do enough. And Kevin is pretty capped on how many spells he can cast in a turn here with just the 5 lands. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be tough for him to be able to stabilize here.
Yeah, I guess Chris is thinking about if he wants to slap down the Gazlith or the Pilgrim's Eye.
I mean, he could also just play Biting Palm Ninja. Like, it does have a casting cost.
I mean, that's not the fun thing to do, though, right?
I know. This is better TV.
You play Biting Palm, then your opponent just plays a Scab or something else, just kills it. Then you don't get any of the fun stuff. But this way, with 2 flyers in the air,
does it not have? I thought it had Menace, but
I do not know if it has Menace.
All right, we have just a Murmuring Mystic coming down here, so it's not going to stop these flyers. So Biting Palm is now in the clear.
Yeah, I guess you just swing both flyers, bring back the Pilgrim's Eye. He's going to Gust of Wind. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. He doesn't know. Is he going to ruin us?
I mean,
what?
He has a choice.
What?
I mean, he has enough. Sounds like he has enough removal and interaction in hand that he can.
Yeah, there's a Gust Spark Harvest, and he can cruise later. But I just figured, with 1 mana opening your opponent's side, you Gust to win the Biting Palm.
All right.
Okay, so we're just looking to close the game out, huh?
Okay. He just goes for the dragon here. And he could still treasure cruise if he wanted to, but
he also said Test of Talons. Do you remember what that does? I feel like it's a counter spell.
That one's very, very strong. It's I mean, in the right matchup, it says it's counter target instant or sorcery spell. And then you basically get to look at your opponent's hand and their whole deck and take all copies of that spell out of it.
That's gross. So if we see Kevin go with the fight with fire,
yeah, I mean, even if you don't, even if you don't take any extra copies out of their deck with it, you get to see their whole deck. You just get to see the whole deck, right? Yeah. So Test of Talents here. He's going to see the whole deck
and the whole hand.
I think he's going to concede before it resolves. Yeah, he says, "I'm not letting you see the rest of my deck. No thanks."
Oh, that's so good. I used to love when you're playing Paper Magic and people concede for certain reasons, like they just don't want you to have certain information. It's smart. It's so smart.
Yeah.
So it seems Chris's deck can definitely get under Kevin's, but also Kevin's had 2 games of slow starts. Yeah, Chris had a kind of a slow start last game. It worked out well for Kevin.
He missed lands in both games, did Kevin? But this game, Chris was able to put enough pressure here to make it through. Yeah. Test the talents is there was a card also in Wilds of Eldraine, the end. You get to look through your opponent's whole deck also when you cast it.
But the end's what creatures, right?
Uh, yeah, but you still get to see the whole deck. Like
Yeah.
even if you take no, even if there's not a second copy of that creature, you still get to see the entire
You still
deck.
get to verify it.
It's just so tilting. Like just imagine like in paper, your opponent just picks up your deck and starts looking at it. I get so mad.
I feel like most people ask, they go, "Hey, listen, by the way, I get to look at your deck. Do you mind?" And they just push it forward. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, but it's
Am I happy
still
about it?
like
No, but go ahead.
it's still they just get to like take as long as they want, read the cards, enjoy the moment.
I think within reason, like what wasn't there a championship or an event where someone got to look through someone's deck and they missed a card?
I suppose if you don't know what you're
I,
looking for.
yeah, I think he was looking for like a fourth or third copy of something.
Okay.
I don't remember if there was crosstalk, but
yeah, people make errors, but yeah, looking at the opponent's whole deck is not what Chris wanted here. I mean, he was basically it's not what Kevin wanted. He was basically dead anyway.
So Chris has made no changes.
Okay.
Has Kevin made any changes?
I don't think he changed much. He had made a couple changes between the first and the second game, but not here. What's Chris working with?
Chris, as always, is working with 4 lands. 2 swamps in hand, an island. His favorite card that just does not stop showing up, Professor Onyx.
The man is consistent.
Yes.
4 lands and an Onyx. It's a keep.
Intro again. There's a Pilgrim's Eye for turn 3, Tamiyo's Completion for turn 4, and a Treasure Cruise for somewhere down the line. What's Kevin working with?
Yeah, he's got a mountain here for his what we jokingly call Tron on turn 3, all 3 colors. He's got an Anchor to Ether. He just drew an island here. He's got Anchor to Ether, Possess Scab, Treasure Cruise, Crew Revival, Bond of Insight. So a bit of an expensive hand here.
Bond of Insight must be Kevin's favorite card. I swear I've heard it every game.
It's a good one.
Last game.
I mean, what would the? I mean, I guess if you had 6 lands in Onyx, you can't keep it. But that's about the only. Like, if you had 4 lands Onyx and like 2 random cards from your deck, I think you keep it unless they're all were all lands. I think.
Yeah, I think you keep it, especially with a cram session.
Yeah, I mean, Onyx is just that good. It does happen that Kevin was able to answer it immediately both times, but that was literally both times he had to draw the card for turn to kill it. Like he did not have the answer in hand.
Trying to see what Chris is thinking about here. There's really not much else to do other than swing.
I was gonna say, does he have a ninja?
No, there's it's just Mountain Swamp, Cruise, Completion, Onyx, Annihilation, and a gust of wind drawn for the turn.
What's the completion?
I was just surprised at how long that attack took. Maybe trying to bluff. Tamiyo's.
Oh, Tamiyo's Completion. Yeah, okay.
I believe it's from Neo.
Yeah. Card's good.
I wonder if Chris was doing a bit of, do I have a ninja? Do I not have a ninja? What's in my hand?
So interesting. Kevin's just going to pass here. He has Prismari Command and Crew Revival as instants.
Yeah, another land drawn for turn. So really, Chris still isn't doing much outside of land and punch.
Yeah, there is no answer for the Professor Onyx though, but Chris might not want to play it into open mana.
I mean, Kevin might also just draw into it, right? Like, if Chris slams down the Onyx and Kevin still has no answers, he might just slam the Prismari. Well,
so Kevin's going to do the draw 2, discard 2 thing. It's going to help fuel his Treasure Cruise here, and he's going to choose the destroy target artifact mode.
Seems classy.
And he finds Philagi and a Burning Prophet.
Burning Prophet, what's that? 1/2, 1/3?
It's a 1/3 for 2. It's not quite prowess. It's whenever you cast a non-creature, it's +1/+0 and scry.
Okay.
A fun fact, that was my most drafted card in War of the Spark. So
it's pretty good.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of that one. It's so smooth.
I mean, it might as well be a 2/3 half the time.
On attacks, it is.
Yeah.
Right. So he gets the Philagi and Treasure Cruise here, which you like to see it. So with a Possessed Scab in hand, he does have, and a Cruel Revival, he does have to be mindful about which cards he keeps and leaves in the graveyard. Right, he's drawn Cloudfin Raptor is a bit of an odd one for his deck, considering how how long he's looking to go, and that's more or less like an aggressive leaning card, but that's one of the cards in his hand. He's drawn another Treasure Cruise, and he has a Gurmag Angler. But like this is where you could see the tension here with having like so many Delve cards.
I mean, you can always just hard cast it if you ever wanted to, right?
Yeah, it's just like the first Delve card is really good. The second one is okay. The third one, it's like the diminishing returns start. Like,
I don't know. What if you draw so many cards, right, that these Treasure Cruises start like, it's like Ouroboros. The cards that you're discarding because your hand is too filled starts filling your graveyard. How do you cast the other Treasure Cruises, right?
I mean, I assume your opponent is doing something that you can't just draw cards only. So,
I mean, have you saw the game 3 so far?
I
I mean,
mean,
like, Chris
yeah,
is doing things, but when your opponent's like, also drawing cards,
yeah,
you have time.
he's got 2 Treasure Cruises now back in hand. He got it back. He said, "I want that back. I need to draw 3 again."
Also, a good thing to note, though, is like both these players are in blue, right? And blue stats aren't the greatest for getting a game over quickly.
I was gonna say that these players are drawing a lot of cards, but we had a feature match earlier in this league where somebody drew 26 cards in one turn. So
26.
yeah.
All right, take your time. Story time. What happened?
Matthias, he ultimated the Jace Memory Adept to draw 20 cards. He needed an answer to a couple of things in play because he was behind on life, and then he needed to cast another draw spell, and then another in order to find what he needed. So he had to draw 26 cards before he found what he needed to win.
How much mana did he have? That just sounds.
Well, the Jace minus didn't cost him anything, right? So he had all his mana available, and it was
Well, that's 20 though, but it's still pretty expensive to draw the other 6. Like even Treasure Cruises, right? Like we just said the first one normally easy to cast.
He had a lot of cards in his graveyard.
Okay.
So, he had when plussing the Jace Memory Adept, he had been milling himself. So this was in week 1. Anyway, it was a memorable moment, to say the least.
One of the more memorable moments of the league.
Yeah. So Kevin's just going to put this right back on top of the deck, put the mountain to the bottom, and attack this Planeswalker, I have to guess.
So is there a fight with fire yet?
Not yet, but he can go on a cruise soon to go and see if he can find it. Chris has got a lot going on. He's got a lot in hand. I don't know how much he's got going on. Can we get an update
awkward. Here? It's awkward. Yeah. So it's still Treasure Cruise, completion, things that you don't really want to cast on these, creatures on the other side of the board.
You don't want to
Annihilation, expensive, Modern Age that he might cast now because there are things you probably want to get rid of. But he has Evolving Wild, Moonshot Specialist, Island, the Spellkeeper Weird, and then Divide by 0, which your targets aren't the greatest. Yeah. Like you don't want to bounce Pelagie, you don't want to bounce Scab, so it's really just hitting a Raptor.
Awkward. He doesn't want to use his removal on any of these, but if he wants to keep the Planeswalker alive, he has to kill the 3/2. Yeah.
Well, he can just Moon Snare Specialist here, but what do you bounce?
Well,
your head says the Raptor.
It don't. Does it bounce when it comes in?
When it enters, return to one target creature's other hand. It's just expensive because it's 4 mana to play, but if you ninjutsu it, it's 3. Yeah.
Okay, so he's just gonna. I mean, yeah, I guess he could do it to the Raptor, but it's like not. You're obviously not maximizing the card, but he wants to protect his Planeswalker here.
Divide by 0, is that instant?
Yeah, it's return a spell of 3 mana or less to its owner's hand. Spell or creature, I think. And it's a learn, and then you get to learn. I know you can bounce a spell on the stack or a creature, I believe.
Well, I don't believe that's a spell you want to bounce back on the stack.
I believe it's mana value 1 or greater. I believe you can't bounce like tokens with it, because in Strixhaven they had like those fractals, which were those tokens that could get a bunch of counters. So they wanted to protect from bouncing that, but so I believe you could bounce anything that costs more than 0. Yep, return target spell or permanent with mana value 1 or greater.
That's just gotta feel so.
Bouncing. I mean, basically, this is the only time when you would ever bounce a Scab is like when you're at 3 life or when your planeswalker's at 3 loyalty. That's it.
So let's see. Does he just recast the scab? Is that the time we're on?
Yeah, he can get back his Gust of Wind
Or does he get back Prismari Command?
or Gust. Yeah,
Because he loves his Prismari Command.
I mean it's a good card. Yeah, this is a fun deck to watch. I will say.
I'm having fun watching it from this side.
It's just churning.
It's like
It's churning. It's churning.
it's like a toolbox deck. Like he has a ton of answers for different things. You know, it's able to pressure later. The only thing that's missing is like a brick wall early, but I guess Falaji kind of gets that job done if you draw into it.
I mean, if he wins here, he'll be at 13-7, which is a good position to try and make a run. And I know he's been on the server for a long time, and this looking for his first top 8. So I think this is probably the most well positioned he's been yet. So to be determined.
Now this is where I'm going to say these Spellkeeper weirds are awkwardly placed. Chris has got 2 in hand. I mean, like, they'll gum up the board, I guess.
Yeah, the thing about them is that they need to survive a turn in order to be used.
Yeah.
Like, so they're honestly like worse than the possessed scabs, but they're still good. They're just
so we
not
do find
really
2
good
removals
here.
off the top.
They're
taking Cruelty to hand.
Okay.
Go on.
Yeah,
I figured before I forget.
Weird, yeah, Spellkeeper Weird. It's bad when you're behind. Like Possessed Scab is good at like most points of the game. Like when you're behind, it's still probably going to be okay because it could block something and get back a spell immediately. Yeah, but Spellkeeper Weird requires you to have to untap with it. So it is worse when you're behind.
Specialist again. Okay, all right. Chris he's working here. This Onyx is putting in like overtime to the max.
Yeah, this is like a game of inches. This one, it's just like the players have so many resources at their disposal. Like they both have a bunch of lands, they both have a bunch of cards in hand. It's down to like these small, what to do with your turn decisions that are gonna give the edge here.
Yeah,
but the Onyx has just been doing so much work.
I think it's going to keep doing work if it remains here. If Chris or Kevin doesn't find like a Dreadboard answer to it, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 spells in hand with 1 weird to buy something back.
Yeah, like he might just drain him out.
Yeah,
like there's no life gain here for Kevin. He could play creatures, he could draw cards, he can remove creatures on the other side, but he can't protect himself from these drains. So. It'll take a while, but Okay, it looks like he's gonna reset the Onyx here. Make him pay 6 mana to recast it.
Still not bad. I
feel like Chris is okay with that.
It's not the worst situation, but you definitely didn't want to spend all your mana replaying Onyx.
He's got a fight with fire now. I don't think that deals damage to planeswalkers, but maybe it does. I don't recall the exact text.
About to find out.
I think it's just a creature for 3. When you pay 9, you could divide it out amongst whatever. But I believe when you cast it for 3, it's just a creature.
Yeah, it's just target creature.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But he has 9, so he could divide the damage, right?
Yeah, he does have the 9. So unless he gets countered, he will be able to dispose of potentially multiple permanents here.
The chances of a counter coming seem 0 to none.
Yeah, no, Test the Talents would be especially good against the fight with fire because you strip the other 2 out of the deck.
Yeah. I wonder if he even wants to replay the Onyx right now.
I mean, he could Onyx and minus, but then it could still die to the flyer.
Well, you just get a Falaji then, right? It seems useless.
Yeah. Well, with what?
If he minuses the Onyx.
Well, it does say they have to sack their highest power creature.
I literally read the card 2 games ago and completely forgot about that already.
Yeah, if it was just a regular edict, that would be
gerbil brain.
Quite poor. It would not be. It'd be a very poor ability. Yeah, no, the -3 does get you the highest power, I believe. It's either highest power or highest mana, but Gurmag Angler fits both bills.
Kasmina is what? One more to target your creatures?
It's two. It's like Ward 2 without
Oh,
being.
okay.
It's for just for spells.
They might as well just be indestructible at this point.
It might be hyperbole, but effectively, perhaps yes.
Like, what can he find here? So he's gonna do the minus. Ambush your Warkite and Steam Augury.
Yeah, that bouncing of the Planeswalker was actually like pretty important. It sort of set back Chris's mana a little bit.
Yeah, it was a huge tempo play. So
More
I was like,
ninjas. I see more ninjas going to the graveyard. He really has. He's. I don't know how many packs of Kamigawa he opened, but they were a gold mine for ninjas.
I think Rusting came and gave him a really good deal on some ninjas.
Are you sure that's how it works?
I think so.
Right, here comes a treasure cruise. Like we like it. I mean, we've seen many treasure cruise cast this match.
No! All he had to do was draw blue or leave a blue open, and we drew the test of talents.
He drew the test of talents.
Okay. I think it's because he already played a land for turn, but I mean, yes. he didn't draw into a blue anyway, so there wasn't going to be mana open.
This one's going to be rough because he's going to lose the Planeswalker and both of his creatures here to the Fight with Fire, and Kevin is so brazen, he's just going to discard this treasure because he says, I don't need it. I have another one in hand that you don't know about. I'm good. And then the Fight with Fire is going to come and absolutely devastate here. So he can just deal damage. Yeah, he doesn't have to deal damage to the Planeswalker.
Exacxies.
He can just deal damage to him and then attack the Planeswalker.
I mean, it's the same difference anyway, right?
It's less clicking this way.
Okay. I got things to do, places to be.
Yeah, it's less clicking. The man's got a plane to catch here.
Kevin said, no, I think we'll do less clicking. Well, yeah. No, it's 10 clicks. He went for the face instead. It's like the same.
Yeah.
Gurmag, Falaji for the Exacties.
Did he forget to attack with the Cloudfin and all the? I think he just forgot to attack with it and all the clicking.
I believe so also, but depending on what Kevin has in hand, I mean, Chris still has a lot of cards in hand. 2 counters, there's a test, there's the Essence, there's 2 dragons, we got a Warkite, we got a Gazlith, we still got the weird guy still in the hand, a Lash of Malice, Tamiya's Completion. So, we still got hitters over here. So I'm not going to say Chris is out just yet.
He's at 19. He can get rid of the Gurmag Angler and then play other things to block these smaller creatures. Yeah, it must have just been in all the excitement and the clicking, he just didn't click his Cloudfin Raptor. There's no reason to. There's no other conceivable reason to have left it back unless he looked up Chris's deck and found some crazy haste flyer that can destroy the game.
So let's see here. I'm not sure if Chris even wants to kill the Gurmag right now, because then that would leave him with no mana open because of the targeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got to use your treasure and your last mana just to target the stupid thing, and then you don't get to leave up Essence and Test. So I think you can just take the 5 this turn, leave your mana open, because he still has Lash of Malice, Tamiya's Completion. There's other things that can be done.
He does have an extra mana for instants and sorceries there from the. Well, I mean, I guess it's from the treasure.
So I like going for the weird here. I like this. So you're kind of just coming up the board. Weird. Deal 5. I'm cool with that, but no more.
Keeping it weird. All right, another Falaji here. So in hand, Kevin has an update here. He has Crew Revival. He has a Treasure Cruise. He discarded one but kept another. He has the Notion Thief. He has Jace Vryn's Prodigy and a freshly drawn Falaji Archaeologist. So I think he's trying to he wants to position himself to flash back the Fight with Fire. So that's why he's playing the Jace here.
I'm into it. The question is, how much does Chris care about the Jace? I think enough to scatter it.
I think he saw what Jace can do in game 1 where it just flashed back fire for lethal.
So wait a minute, how many good spells does he have again? Dreadbores, Fight with Fires. Yeah, no, I'm good.
I think he saw Fight with Fire. That was enough for him.
Hard pass.
Yeah. Jace is real good.
What can Falaji find? A Dreadbore or something?
We'll find out.
Moon.
He's going to get the Modern Age here, which is, totally fine card.
What can the Modern Age find? Or does he Treasure Cruise first and then Modern Age?
I imagine Chris will want to fight over the Treasure Cruise, right? He'll want to counter it. Okay,
Well,
he's leaving
Chris has
open the
got a Treasure
Notion
Cruise
Thief.
of his own.
He's leaving open Notion Thief and the Crew Revival here.
That's pretty funny.
Oh,
Chris does have a Lash of Malice, though, so the minute that Notion Thief comes down, he's going to Treasure Cruise here. I expect to see
he's not going to get. So he's not going to get 0 for 3'd.
No. Brutal, yes, but no. But no.
Yeah, that would have been a memorable moment in the making.
Yeah. Indeed. Remember we said earlier, we've still never to this day seen a Notion Thief do the thing.
Not in this set. I think in the olden days I saw it. You know, people boarded it in constructed actually, and it was pretty effective. But all right, he's gonna say,
"I love that art.
I want the cards."
You don't test the talented here, buddy. You let it hit the board. Yeah.
So why is the art like clearly from OTJ? Is what I'm wondering.
I guess there was a specialty one. Oh wait. Maybe he had to be in full control. What did I miss?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I think he needed to be in full control here.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be.
He might not have a setting on, or I'm not exactly sure what happened.
Yeah,
there.
Arena. I think Arena did him dirty. I think, yeah.
I will admit, those are moments that I don't like playing on Arena because, like in paper, like it's a little easier to go through the turns.
Yeah, so Arena's basically say like Arena's way of thinking is, okay, you cast a spell, opponent casts a creature in response. What is it that you would want to cast now after a creature has resolved before your spell resolves?
The stack should have gone right. It should have gone Notion Thief on the stack,
like
resolves,
Arena doesn't. Yeah, that's brutal. We can't blame Chris for that one.
But Chris is gonna say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go for a different way to close this game out. Things happen, so we're just gonna look for any way we can to deal the last 4 damage.
And he still has the Test of Talents, right?
Still has Test of Talents. Still has Lash of Malice. Still has the work
setback. Despite the setback, he may still be able to push through here because he's going to try and fight with fire to get rid of... to kill him, basically.
We'll have to see which direction Kevin wants to go here. I know some people might be a little wary in this position, right?
Yeah, he's doing it. I think he's gonna try and wipe out the Spellkeeper and 6 damage to Chris here. And just take the game.
Well played on Chris if he pulls this out.
Yeah.
You get 3 for 1 and you go, yep, yeah, I'm still cool. I'm still going to just absolutely murder you.
No, it's really like 4 for 1 because he has a Notion Thief too. He has like a 3-1.
You lost nothing and gained everything.
So he's checking his Test of Talents somewhere here. No, okay. He's checking. He's over the graveyard. Do I see a Test of Talents? I don't see one. Divide by 0 also is gone.
This freaking guy.
He said, "I got to do it because I'm dead otherwise." And he doesn't really like. He could try and answer the Prismari Dragon, but he'll still be taking 2 flying. And I think we're gonna get the game done here. So, yeah,
yikes!
A little error on the Notion Thief, but it turns out that Chris was able to fight through that, test his talents, and it looks like he's gonna come out with perhaps the superior talent in this one specific game here. Yeah, just
wait a minute. I know there's 3. Where's the third one? Where's the third one?
Get these out of here, and then let me.
He's also just please. He's kind of just taking a stroll through the deck real quick. Like, man, I really got through this. Man, I'm the man.
He's like, oh, he still had all these.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun games though. This was a really, really fun way to start the week here.
Yeah, you don't see many games that kind of go a little more than an hour, but like that aren't kind of like stalls. This one felt like both players were constantly looking for an edge to get above the other one.
Yeah, the decks are like they do have similarities. I mean, one deck is a bit more grindier looking, but they have similar game plans. And it looks like Chris enacted his with a bit more success to get the win here. And the game will be wrapping up in a moment. I guess Chris might as well just make the technically correct plays.
Yeah, why not?
let's be correct in our execution on the way
It's like, when
to
you're
the
playing
winner
football,
circle.
right? And in the last quarter, you've had a pretty bad, 4 quarters of play so far, but the coach says, hey, you know what? Play it out, man. Play it out.
All right, so congratulations here to Chris on an absolute grind fest here. Very, very entertaining match to start off the week. Thank you to both players for that, and congratulations to Chris on the win. We'll be back in a little while for our second match of the week.